The President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Prakash Prasad. Representative of the Office of the President, Mrs. Judith Moraine Webb. Senior academic staff at the UTT. Member of Parliament for Tabakit, the Honorable Ms. Anita Hayes. Executive Student Guild, outgoing and incoming Chapter Guild members, members for the media, a pleasant good evening. I am Dariel Roberts and I will be your mistress of ceremonies for this afternoon. Some of you may know me and some of you may not. I am a current master's student at the University of Trinidad and Tobago, having completed my bachelor's in process engineering there in 2020. I have had the honor to serve on the ESG and several chapter guilds at the UTT during my time there. I also represented the university at Youth and Regional Parliament for Trinidad and Tobago. I'm a passionate debater, and it is my pleasure to be your mistress of ceremonies this afternoon. I would like that we start this afternoon's proceedings with a word of prayer. O Supreme One, true source of light and wisdom, origin of all being, graciously let a ray of your light penetrate the darkness of our understanding. We thank you for giving us another day as we continue our academic career at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Give us a keen understanding, a retentive memory, and the ability to grasp things correctly and fundamentally. Point out the beginning, direct the progress, and help in the completion. Show us how to wisely use the knowledge that we are about to acquire and help us to leave the world a better place than we found it. Give us faith and courage and put purpose in our days. Show us how to effectively serve you so that all our education, knowledge, and skills may find true fulfillment as we learn to do your will. And finally, may we ever be aware in everything that we do that knowledge comes from learning and wisdom comes from you. I will now like to invite Ms. Patrice Richardson of the APA chapter to sing the national anthem for us this evening.
Thoughts from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every grain and risk find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every grain and risk find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Thank you, Patrice, for such a beautiful rendition. The ESG Treasurer, Mr. Kevin Lucknanan, has served in various capacities of student leadership at the UTT. He served on the Chaguaramas Chapter Guild and now serves on the ESG. He has also served on the UE Guild in Barbados. He is currently pursuing his master's in maritime at the Chaguaramas campus. I now invite him to give welcoming remarks.
Thank you to each and every one of you for being here with us today. We are very pleased to be able to welcome those of you that have been with us for a long time now, as well as those who are new to this experience. I would like to formally welcome the President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Prakash Prasad, the Executive Student Guild, outgoing and incoming Chapter Guild members, members of the media, and our virtual audience. Today marks our second virtual Chapter Guild inauguration, and I am delighted to bring you welcoming remarks. We are proud to be able to host it today here on this platform with all of you. Before we get started, I would like to express my sincere appreciation for all of you who have generously helped us to make this event come together and be a success. To point them out, the Executive Student Guild, Ms. Chelsea Alexander, and so much more. We couldn't have done it without you, so thank you. In today's gathering, I would like to focus on the program that we have put together today, and on the person who will be carrying us through these proceedings is former Executive Student Guild Secretary and one of UTT's pride, Ms. Daria Roberts. For our proceedings today, we will hear several members of the organization bring today greetings. We'll have the award ceremony, the retirement of current campus, the oath of office, the ESG presidential first address to and our featured address by the Honorable MP, Ms. Anita Haynes. We all have been invited to be a part of this space due to a mutual passion for the UTTSG vision and mission. Your passions help us all to unite. All the energy we create is what allows us to achieve our individual as well as group goals. We need you as much as you need us, and that is why we are grateful to have you join us here today. I remember my first inauguration where I sat 2 years ago in the fishbowl in the Valsian campus where I was inaugurated as the Chaguaramas campus president. I remember the eagerness I felt, the excitement, the thrill, ready to serve. And for the incoming officers today, I implore to tell you that one of the noblest things we can do as humans is the capacity to serve, and service above self. So today I want you to remember that there's no I in team, and always remember to foster a know you, know me, but we attitude. That's a prouder you, a stronger we, and a better UTT. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time, and I need to leave you some time for the well-articulated and astute leaders we have here today on the program. Today will be a day that we will all remember as we are embarking on this journey together. You have already made history by just being here. So a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. If you may have questions, I welcome all questions via the chat as we continue today's proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for those welcoming words. I'd now like to invite the ESG PRO, Mr. Chris Hussein, to bring remarks on behalf of the ESG. Chris formerly served on the SFTI Chapter Guild and represented the UTT at Youth Parliament and Regional Youth Parliament. Chris is a former RBC Young Leader and is passionate about youth development and politics. He is currently pursuing his studies at the Point Lisas campus in process engineering, where he is completing his Bachelor of Applied Science. I now hand you over to Mr. Chris Hussein.
President of the University, Prakash Prasad, Executive Student Guild members, incoming and outgoing chapter members, the Member of Parliament for Tabaki, the Honorable Anita Haynes, members of the media and specially invited guests. Pleasant good evening. It is indeed my honor and privilege to bring greetings on behalf of the Executive Student Guild. As we close a chapter for some, a new is opened for another. Today we say farewell to the very resilient and formidable leaders who a year ago sat in the same place the incoming Guild chapter members are sitting currently. On behalf of the ESG, let me extend my most sincere gratitude. The same feeling of uncertainty, excitement, and even anxiety is a part of this experience. But I must congratulate you all on a job well done at the polls as you participated in democracy. It takes a patriot to stand up and be that voice at the decision and representative table. So I commend you all on that, and I look on with optimism as to what you will do now. As the saying goes, with power comes responsibility. You have been charged with the responsibility to lead. There's a key component there, which is trust. So I call on you to acknowledge that the students at the university have entrusted you with their voice, something very, very special and very sensitive. You are all leaders in your very own position. Leadership is not something that can be learned or can be taught. Rather, this is a virtue developed and polished with time. We must remember individual commitment to a group effort makes the teamwork. None of us is as smart as all of us. Be aware of this. On behalf of the Executive Student Guild, we once again would like to congratulate the outgoing chapter guild members on a well-served year. And we also once again congratulate the incoming on their call to serve and call to duty. I would like to thank the ESG President, Ms. Melissa Messiah, for giving me this opportunity here today to speak on behalf of the ESG. And I also thank you for inviting us virtually into your space. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris, for those remarks. You have spoken like a true member of the ESG. I would now like to invite Mrs. Judith Maureen Webb to bring us greetings on behalf of the UTT President, Professor Prakash Prasad.
Thank you, Dariel. And it is a distinct pleasure seeing you again. I've asked for you on several occasions, and so it really is wonderful to see you again this afternoon. Firstly, I must say that I have to apologize on behalf of Professor Prasad. Today I got the indication that he has something that he does on a Wednesday. He thought he could get out of that commitment and he couldn't, and asked whether I could represent him. And I'm really humbled. But I've worked with Professor Prasad for a long time. And I want to say that he is somebody who understands the value of students. He really recognizes that a university, a place of learning, is nothing without the students. And so they are his first and foremost priority. I also want to say that this is a very special day for me because I remember this is the second time I'm invited to something like this. And yes, Dariel, I remember you particularly. And it reminds me of a period long ago, before many of you all were born, when I was a member of the Guild of the University of the West Indies. Being part of student government is special, is significant, it is a growth opportunity, it's a responsibility that you must guard jealously. And so I want to say that this afternoon is a chance for us as a country to be assured of our future. Because before us here are the people who are in charge and who will continue to be in charge. And so when I see and hear the statements made, see the commitment that is demonstrated, I know that my future and the future of this country is assured. UTT is a very special place. It was developed for Trinidad and Tobago. It is linked to national development goals. And so we have UTT, we have UE, but UTT is very special. And so for you to be part of student government in UTT means that you are indelibly linked to the future of this country. And I want to say that the times that I have interacted with you all, I think that our future is in very good hands. There may be times when it slips a little bit, but that's normal. You catch it again, it doesn't fall. Notice what I said, slips. And so I want to say to you that recognize, treasure the special responsibility that you have, but also the opportunity for growth that you get. You get a chance to grow, to experiment, to try out things in an almost risk-free environment. because you're in charge, but everyone knows that you're learning. And in fact, UTT has indicated its understanding and its attention to this by ensuring that students are part of every aspect of the university. So student government is part of academic council, which is the highest body. It is indelibly linked to every element of the academic governance framework. Think about it, that you all serve, you make decisions, your voice is heard, it is recognized, supported, and listened to. And you know that there's some recent events where this student guild turned the tide around, things that were important to students. So I want to say that the incoming guild has some big shoes to wear. But when I see the faces, I know that they will be worn well and they will fit appropriately. And so I want to thank you all for asking me to wear the shoes of Professor Prasad, pundit and professor. Okay? I worked with him a long time, and so I think I understand how he feels about students. And all I will say to you is, best wishes. I'm still part of the university, and so people know that my weak spot is young people. So you can call on me and ask me, and I will support and assist voluntarily. I want to recognize also that there are two significant persons in here. Professor Stephen Joseph, who's had a long history in education, all levels. You'd be surprised some of the people that he's taught in this country. So he's a resource. But there's also Dr. Solange Kelly, a lady, and Daryl, you know what I'm talking about. Chris, you would know who I'm talking about. Lady who is firm, available, very clear in the principles, so you all have support within the university. So we have a formal system recognizing the importance of the students, but we also have an informal system that is available. I also want to say, on behalf of the chairman, Professor Imber, that he really is not available. He wouldn't normally miss this for anything. I'm sure you remember when you all were inaugurated that he was present, but it just is not possible for him. But he's also sent his greetings and a warm welcome to the incoming guild. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Webb, for those words, and it's truly a pleasure hearing from you this afternoon. I would now like to invite the ESG to do the presentation of awards to the Chapter Guild students. Chris, would you like to start the presentation of awards?
Yes, sure. So I would like to start with the certificates of the recognition. So we will continue that proceeding later on with the video. So I'll just go with the certificates for the outstanding performance on committees. So on the Executive Student Guild, there are various committees. I know the outgoing, you all know this very well. Daryl, you would know this as well. I think Daryl serves quite well as chairing a committee during her tenure. So I want to congratulate you on that. So for the committee that comprises of the President's Planning and Implementation Committee, the ESG would have selected certain persons to receive the certificate for outstanding performance, and those persons are as follows: Daniel Atz, Chelsea Bene, Carice Sami. For the clubs, society, sports, and culture committee, the persons who were the awardees of the outstanding performance certificate are as follows: again, Chelsea Bene, Carice Sami, Nkosi Lawrence. For the Student Guild Finance Committee, we have Nkosi Lawrence, Stashe Bailey, Daniel Atz. And for the Marketing, Events, and Publications Committee, which is my committee, I recognize Mile Waddley, Ishmael Dickey, Nkosi Lawrence, Janelle Ross, Chelsea Bene, Tanika Brewster, Sophia Knights, Carice Sami, and Dacia Chintu. I know you probably, you look at that and you see a long list, but I think the MEPC is one of those committees that would have performed quite well. So for the awards for outstanding performance, position specific, in the role of the president, the outstanding president, the overall outstanding president across the entire chapter guild would have been from the Shagaramas campus, Daniel Atz. For the outstanding performance of vice presidents, we had 2 outstanding vice presidents, Chelsea Bene and also Carice Sami. For the treasurer, we had 3 outstanding treasurers who performed quite well: Nicholas Ramlochan, Alyssa Hailey, and Aliyah Barthomale. And for the secretary, outstanding performance for secretaries, Rajala Borel, Amanda Ramlal. And for the PROs, there were 3 PROs, Ishmael Dickey, Janelle Ross, and Tanika Brewster. The ESG also took the position to award persons for special awards. And those special awards are as follows. So the name of the award is the Contribution Towards the Student Guild. Nkosi Lawrence, you would have received that award. Outstanding Service Towards the Student Guild, Chelsea Bene. Personal and Professional Development, Janice George. Outstanding Contributions in Meetings as an appointed scribe, we would have awarded Nkosi Lawrence. The President Awards for Excellence in Service in the post of, we would have awarded President Anicia Batiste from APA, Daniel Atz, Janice George, Itisha, and also Cyril Ann Hunt. The certificates of recognition for the several campuses, as I listed earlier on, we actually have a video planned, so those persons will receive their certification as well. We're in this virtual space, so we will have to send it to you. So congratulations to all of the awardees. I wish you all the best on your future endeavors as you go into another chapter. I understand some of you all are returning, so I'm quite excited to see you all perform in this capacity now. I also would have acknowledged that some of you all even took a promotion. You were in Stashe's case on EPA, a treasurer, and now you're the president. So I'm looking on again, as we said earlier on by several of our speakers, as to what you're going to do now and next. So I will now hand you back over to Daryl. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And again, congratulations to all persons who were given awards tonight. Thank you for your continued service to the Student Guild at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Now we have come to a point in our program that is bittersweet, for want of a better word. We are now tasked with retiring the current campus. Now, for many, you would know the roar that comes from current. And tonight, this evening, we invite a true warrior of current to conduct this retirement ceremony, past president of the current chapter guild, Ms. Ria Molino.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes, Ria, we're hearing you.
Wonderful. The President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Prakash Prasad, members of the outgoing and incoming Executive Student Guild, outgoing and incoming Student Guild members, Member of Parliament for Tabaquite, the Honorable Miss Anita Haynes, members of the media, and specially invited guests, I say good evening. I am charged today to give the speech for the retirement of the current campus, and a sad duty it is, to say the least. Firstly, I must say the audacity of Chris Hussein to tell me to fit a legacy in a 5-minute speech. But I digress. It's 10:40 p.m. Tuesday night, and here I am writing a speech that I never thought would ever be written. You'd think after writing so many essays and assignments, you'll get the hang of it by now. Wrong. As I sit here struggling to fathom the concept of Corinth no longer being in existence, here comes the waterworks. What should I say? How can I even be saying this? Mind goes blank. What can possibly be said to ensure that this speech is the most epic speech to represent what Corinth truly is? Then boom, naturally, I did what Corinthians do best. I ran to my fellow Corinthians for support. Yes, it's late, but one by one, I messaged them. Hey, they're retiring Corinth tomorrow, and I'm giving the speech. Can you tell me some words you'd use to describe Corinth? You all can't be there physically, but I am taking my family with me. And one by one, they responded. The following are words from my current family as received via WhatsApp. After all, one cannot go into battle alone. You need your battalion. Robin. Corinth is family, vibes, unity, loyalty. Attila. It's inspiring, patriotic, hardworking, loving. Faith. I'd say Corinthians were family. We feud, we fight, but if we lost together. And if we won together. And even after university, the bond was forever. Despite our differences, there's always love and support. It wasn't a university, it was a second home. Bego, amazing, electrifying, heartwarming, dominant, and most of all, family. Andrea, Corinth was a second home, a family. We built on strangers to friends, to best friends, and of course, sister and brotherhood. A life-changing experience that we will never forget and will live on forever in our hearts. No surrender, no retreat. Corinthians forever. Khadijah, united, strong-willed, amazing, people-friendly. Aisha, Corinth student body, I'd say assiduous, competitive, anomalous, unique, outgoing, dedicated. Debs, at first, I thought it would have just been, university, class, and back home. But that place quickly became part of me. I became a Corinthian, and only when you attend that campus, you can understand the level of love developed for it. If I had to describe it, I would say it's legendary. It lives on in you for the rest of your life, even after graduation. Corinthians forever. Tyler, Corinth was a breeding ground for knowledge in and out of the classroom. For me, it was a place where I learned more about life and what I wanted to contribute to society as opposed to what career path I wanted. Sala, it's more like a family than a school. I made more genuine friends there in 1 year than I did in my 5 years of secondary school. Everyone looks out for one another, and you can feel safe being yourself. I was introduced to a whole new level of culture and fun. People were very encouraging for me to try new things like dancing. All I can say is best year of my life. Richard, Corinth was the place where I found my true self, gained independence, and broke through my shell as I matured into a professional. It was the place where I met friends for life, had a lot of first-time experiences, memories of happiness, sorrow, and growth. Carry-on, family away from home, inspirational, unique, diverse, outstanding student and faculty relationships, athletic and academic excellence. Elizabeth, it's home away from home. Prior to joining this campus, Corinth has always been known for being loud, which automatically means that we're the campus with the most vibes. We're also known for being very competitive. Mancini, beautiful campus, a family, home, togetherness, never-ending laughter and vibes. Janice, Corinth is a vibe. You walk into the compound and you feel the aura immediately. We are family, togetherness as a culture. We represent. Corinth is a campus of passion and love. Just like the national flag, the red represents the warmth of the people. Our red represents the warmth of our students. We are brilliant, multi-talented. We are hated, but loved. We are the most expressive of the UTT campuses. Jordan, my experience at Corinth was life-changing. Corinth wasn't the ordinary campus. It was one where you were pushed every second of every day to become a better version of yourself. From lecturers who go way beyond their call to ensure we grasp every concept, to peers with smiling faces who made it easier for you to get by every day. I went to Corinth for 3 years and left with a whole other family. My degree, endless memories, a whole new outlook on life, a passion for helping others excel through sports like I did, and most importantly, a greater love and appreciation for myself. Corinth was like the big sister we all never thought we needed. Letitia, I'll describe it as a second home, grounded with love and filled with passion, the best place ever. Calandra, Corinth is everything. I believe we were truly soldiers because we literally built a bond like that. I could call every single one of you my batch, because if you mess with one, you get struck down from all. Don't play with us. We are the real deal. Natasha, I met people, strangers who turned into my family, and they will always be a part of my life. Corinth is embedded in me. I live by that mantra: no surrender, no retreat. Moses, Corinth means family, They made me feel accepted. Corinth is not a campus, it's DNA. McRoy, for me, Corinth was vibes. Something like a housewarming that made you feel at home all the time. Never had a dull day, even when there's nothing much to do on some days. Angel, well, they always say home is where the heart is, right? So it was like a second home to me, where I gained more than just friends, but family, full of vibes and energy, the best. I asked for words and my family sent paragraphs. If that doesn't show the love we have for Corinth, I don't know what will. Corinth was our home, our safe place, our training ground where we prepared for battle. Nobody will ever understand unless they went to school there. Some campuses even believe we thought we were better than them. We didn't. However, we can't be named the fearless conquerors and you all expect us to be full of fear. We took our name to heart. We battled, defended, and conquered everything in our path, as we should. Our legacy will live on forever. Corinth is embedded in our being. This was not a campus. This was an energy, a spirit, a vibe, an experience. People never had to ask a Corinthian what campus they were from. You did know. Corinth is who we are. That is why we are so emotional today. We came in as individuals, but left as a family. And though the campus is no more, I leave you with these words. You could take we out of Corinth, but you can't take Corinth out of we. Corinth forever. So, for one last time, wherever you Corinthians may be, please join me in what we take most pride in, our battle cry and warrior chant. Yes, the watching, the waiting, and the ready. So the noise going to start for the final time. Corinthians, state your position! To rule! To rule! To rule! No surrender!
No retreat.
No
No retreat. No retreat.
No retreat!
To everyone, we say thank you.
Thank you, Ria, for that. Words cannot express what you just said to us. We most definitely felt your passion. We see it now as you are in tears, retiring the campus that you belong to. And you said it best. Wherever you see a Corinthian, you knew it was. You knew that person was a Corinthian. So again, Ria, thank you. And thank you to all the other Corinthians that joined her in your last battle cry. Now, on a higher note, we would have the presentation of incoming and outgoing guild officers. So I would invite the ESG to do this presentation. Outgoing and incoming tenure. APA outgoing 2020 to 2021. President, Anicia Baptiste. Vice President, Sophia Knights. Treasurer, Stash Bailey. Public Relations Officer, Janelle Ross. APA incoming 2021 to 2022. President, Stash Bailey. Vice President, Patrice Richardson. Treasurer, Shaquille Noriega. Public Relations Officer, Janelle Ross. Camden incoming 2021 to 2022. Vice President, David Rose Jr. Secretary, Melinda Ramlakan. Shagaramas outgoing 2020 to 2021. President, Daniel Atz. Vice President, Chelsea Benoit. Treasurer, Alyssa Hiley. Secretary, Rajaya Burrell. Public Relations Officer, Ishmael Dickey. Hall Chair, Dacia Chintu. Shagramas incoming 2021 to 2022. President, Javon Joseph. Vice President, Yoganan Daniel. Public Relations Officer, Tristan Hamlet. Current outgoing 2020 to 2021. President, Janice George. Vice President, Sabrina Ramsamuj. Treasurer, Elizabeth Samlal Singh. Public Relations Officer, Tamisha Brito. ECIAF outgoing 2020 to 2021.
Yes.
President, Etisha Magat. Vice President, Chris Sami. Treasurer, Nicholas Ramluchan. Secretary, Amanda Ramlal. Public Relations Officer, Tanika Brewster. Elected Representative in the Office of the President, Mikhail Wadley. ECIAF incoming 2021 to 2022. President, Brandon Abraham. Vice President, Aliyah Book. Treasurer, Mikhail Wadley. Secretary, Hadassah Knott. Public Relations Officer, Nairi Roberts. JSDTI incoming 2021 to 2022. Vice President, Katrina Palmer. Point Lisas outgoing 2020 to 2021. Treasurer, Nukosi Lawrence. Point Lisas incoming 2021 to 2022. President, Adela Graham. Assistant Secretary, Holly Millett. Elected Representative, Shafina Ali. Elected Representative, Priya Ali. SFTI outgoing 2020 to 2021. Public Relations Officer, Jamil Boyce. SFTI incoming 2021 to 2022. Vice President, Anarion Mason. Tamana outgoing 2020 to 2021. President, Cyrilan Hunt. Vice President, Tia Marie Bertrand. Treasurer, Aaliyah Bartholomew. Secretary, Rochelle Millington. Public Relations Officer, Rihanna Eugene. Elected Representative in the Office of the Vice President, Devisa Baptiste. Tamana incoming 2021 to 2022. Treasurer, Alicia Pierre John. Secretary, Olivia Lizama. Thank you. I would like for us to give all outgoing and incoming a round of applause at this time, as we thank the outgoing for their service and we thank the incoming for volunteering their time and their service to the continued success of the Student Guild at the UTT. Now, we would have the oath of office led by the ESG Vice President, Mr. Alex Hewitt.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would now ask for all the incoming officers to raise their right hand and repeat after me. I pledge myself to uphold and honor
I pledge myself to uphold and honor
of the principles, values, and beliefs
the principles, values, and beliefs
of the Student Guild of the University of Trinidad and Tobago,
of the
Student Guild of the University of Trinidad and Tobago,
to which I have been selected.
to which I have been selected.
I will be an active member
I will be an active member
and will promote the diversity of opinion, ideas, and backgrounds.
and will promote the diversity of opinions, ideas, and backgrounds,
to which are vital to university life.
which are vital
to university life.
I will uphold
I will uphold
the Student Guild Constitution
the Student Guild Constitution
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, and thank you to the incoming Chapter Guild members. Alex, again, I would like to invite you to give the first address to the Chapter Guild members.
President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, Professor Prakash Prasad, senior members at the university, Executive Student Guild, outgoing and incoming Chapter Guild members, members of the media, and specially invited guests. I stand here today humbled by the task before us, grateful for the trust you have bestowed, mindful of the sacrifices borne by our predecessors. I join my colleagues in thanking the outgoing chapter members for their service to our university, as well as the generosity and cooperation they have shown throughout this transition. I will also extend congratulatory greetings to the newly sworn Chapter Guild members. As I just led the oaths, I want to focus on and pay attention on a few words I will speak on in a bit. I will pledge myself. I will be an active member. I will uphold. My dear friends, you have just sworn to these words that will follow, instituting and involving the word I. Though you said I, and I know this is vital, I want you to look at the person next to you, because that person will be working with you. Though we all took the individual oaths, no man is an island. We all must be our brother's keeper in holding each other to account to this oath and our duties. I look at you all today, and I too remembered being in the position that you were in. I was the former vice president of the John Donaldson campus. I am extremely grateful to the ESG and the outgoing Chapter Guild members for giving me this opportunity to serve, which I take very seriously. And as the PRO said, I trust that you all will do. So I join the students at your campuses in trusting you as well to do the right thing. What is the right thing? How do we know what is the right and what is wrong? Because we are all human beings with different perspectives. Well, Robert Sculler said, the truth of the matter is that you always know what is right to do. The hardest part about that is doing it. And I know we have a featured speaker who is a legislator. So in her presence, I would do a little legislating to a quote and amend that. Doing the right thing is always treating people the same way you want to be treated. We are all one race, the human race. We are diverse people. Through cultural differences, opinions, backgrounds, morals, values, preferences, religiously or non-religiously. How do you plan to treat with people who are different from you? Do you plan to ostracize someone because of their sexual orientation? Do you plan to ignore someone's voice because that person doesn't look like you? Or do you plan to treat everyone fairly and give them the opportunity to be represented through you, even if you disagree with them? Because these are the challenges you will face. You will face sometimes compromising your own beliefs, but this is not about you. This is about representing the people through your office. Again, we have entrusted you dearly. I'd like to draw our attention to the team today. Youth leaders of today and tomorrow. Investing in youth leadership is an investment for the future. You don't need to be old to invest. You have been given the opportunity as one has invested in you. And now you must return that investment to your electorate. What are your plans in upholding the Constitution under Section 2.1, which is the purpose of the Duty Student Guild from the Constitution? To provide leadership and vision while promoting student unity, holistic development, and ensuring that return on investment is made back to people who you serve and have entrusted you. Today, MP Haynes have invested in us. I also understand she is a scholarship winner, one of the best of investing in youth. The nation invested in her, and we have truly seen that return investment as she is now a sitting member of Parliament serving the people. It is a cliche to say that the change you want to see or may be redundant, but we on the ESG will be measuring your success. The measure of a man's greatness is not the number of servants he has, but the number of people he serves. I leave you with these few words today and wish you the best on your upward journey. Again, thank you and congratulations again on your appointments of the new Chapter Guild Officers 2021 to 2022.
Thank you, Alex. I see a couple members in the audience are giving you a round of applause because your words were truly inspiring. And I do hope that the incoming Chapter Guild members are indeed ready to work and ready to serve. So I now invite MP for Tabakit, the Honorable Anita Hayes, to give our feature address for this afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Good evening to the President of the University, Professor Prakash Prasad, to the members of the Executive Student Guild, to the incoming and outgoing chapter members, good evening, one and all. It is indeed an honor for me to be present here with you, albeit virtually, for this afternoon's proceedings. I can tell you student government holds a very special place in my heart and has been a critical space for me throughout my life at all levels of my education. And so when I was invited to speak here today, I was humbled that you thought of me, and I hope that as I have this conversation here with you today, that we all leave more inspired to do our duty and to recommit ourselves to the service as elected representatives. I listened to all of the very wonderful, very touching, heartfelt speeches today. And I can tell you that while I may be your feature speaker, each and every one of your speeches here today has inspired me in my own space as an elected representative. And as I was listening to everyone, I have always believed that it would be our generation's burden that we must shoulder the responsibility of building the type of Trinidad and Tobago that we want to see. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, I wonder if they would even consider me in the same generation. So I said, maybe pump your brakes a little bit. Maybe we are close, but maybe not the same. But it is still all of our work to be done. And I listened to you speak to your colleagues about leadership, about service, about community, about family. And everybody enthusiastically brought their greetings. And you've all faced a very difficult challenge, which is being tasked with fostering community, fostering school spirit in a time where we've all been asked to be distant from one another. And I hope you are proud of yourselves, and I hope you are congratulating yourselves on a daily basis that from what I have seen here in my short time that I've spent with you today, that you've not only been able to do that, but it almost seems as if the pandemic did not affect your community spirit. While we may be socially distant, we all seem to be one very close-knit family. I was reading the chat, and I was looking at the comments on the chat, and your school spirit is so strong. It is so inspiring. It says to me that we can honestly have faith that you guys can overcome anything. Your resilience is something, like I said, has inspired me here today, and I hope that you don't take it for granted, because I've found with a lot of us, a lot of persons who go into elected spaces or representative spaces, we're always thinking about what's next. What is the next thing we have to do? What is the next task for us to accomplish? How are we going to do better and build better? And while that's important, we must always take stock and ownership of where we are and what we have built, what we have inherited, and how we will seek to create. I listened to the young lady from the Corinth campus, and through virtual means, not even being able to be in the same space, I can feel her passion for her institution. I myself, I left university 11 years ago now, but the friends that I made on my student during the student government and friends I made throughout that entire time are still my friends today. They are my mentors, and they keep me in check so that you are always thinking and getting a sense, because those of us who put ourselves up for elected representative spaces, it's very important to ensure that the people around you are able to keep you in check, because it is so very easy for us to sit in our spaces, discuss our policies, and have all these great ideas and miss out on the voice that put us in the space that we're in now. And you don't ever want to lose that connectedness that you have, that you were able to reach out to members of your community to ask for input into your speech, that the first speaker spoke about a commitment to service and what it means to be a servant of people. So while you're elected into a leadership space, that election meant that you've committed your life to service. That is your time, that is your dedication, that is your all of your free moments. You are thinking about how to build a community and foster a stronger community. And the reason that student government is so important is that all of these skills transfer not just to governance as a structure overall, but it transfers most importantly into what kind of citizen that we create. And as you speak, as the student executive, as the leaders of the student body at UTT, let us always reflect that UTT was meant to be a pillar for the development of Trinidad and Tobago. And so what you learn here, you are expected to use to build our country. And I think that's very important, because two things in your theme stood out to me. That you very rightfully referred to yourselves as the leaders of today and tomorrow, because absolutely right now your voice matters more than ever. Because if we are to build the type of country that we hope to live in, the only way we can get there is if we bring more voices to the leadership and decision-making table. And so by putting yourself up to run for student body executive or for your student guild, you've already said, you've already shown that you understand that your voice has an agency for change, and absolutely never lose that. Never lose that you, in whatever space that you're in right now, you can effect real change, you can effect and you can challenge the status quo, and that your voice matters. And then you use your role to encourage other people to use their voice. You amplify their voices and you show that getting involved matters, that the decisions we make on a daily basis builds our country. For far too long, I have met a number of young persons. I've met a number of my colleagues who said, listen, what sense does it make getting involved? None of these changes, everything stays the same. But look at you, you've all understood that you can impact change on your campus, at your university. And I hope that you understand that that translates into impacting national change. And that is critical. And as we go forward, I know there is always a great fear when inviting any political person to speak, that we tend to drone on and on because we have 45 minutes to speak in Parliament, and I personally don't believe you need 45 minutes to deliver any message. I wanted to let you know that the work that you're doing is critical. It will be recognized. The work that you're doing on your campus, use it as a space to build yourself, because the country needs you. We need to invest in you. And then we need to all work together to invest in Trinidad and Tobago, because this is all that we have. This is our home. And if we do not put in the work to build it, nobody can do that for us. So I want to say that I am proud of you. I hope you are proud of yourselves. And I hope that you understand that while it may seem to some people that it is student government, understand that you are learning skills that are transferable, so that wherever you go, you are the type of citizen our country needs. And with those words, I leave you, and I want you to know again that you've all truly inspired me today to think about the passion that we bring to elected representation. I can tell you, sometimes it is a daunting task. You have to build a community in a pandemic. That's not going to be easy. You're going to have difficult days. Lean on each other, depend on each other, look for mentorship, understand that you can be your own age. You don't have to look outside. They can be in your same space, and let us build the kind of country, the kind of university that you hope to see, because we all need each other right now more than ever. So thank you very much. Thank you again for having me. And it was wonderful witnessing your oath of office. Thank you again. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, MP Hayes, for that address. We most definitely appreciate the words that you have delivered today. It is truly an honor to have you with us. So again, we thank you for making time to speak with us this afternoon. I know each and every one of us has gathered something from your message this afternoon. So that brings us to the end of our program for this evening's proceedings. And I thank you all. So I would now like to hand over to the ESG Secretary, my predecessor. Well, he came after me, Mr. Ryan Dangobin, to give the vote of thanks.
Good evening to the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tabaquite, Ms. Anita Haynes, President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago, ESG, outgoing and incoming Chapter Guild members, members of the media, and invited guests. First of all, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the Executive Guild President who gave me an opportunity to speak on this auspicious occasion. And it is a matter of honor for me. On behalf of the entire ESG, I would like to thank the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tabaquite, Ms. Anita Haynes. Because of this ceremony could not be possible if you weren't present, and thank you for your inspiring words. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Also, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the mistress of ceremony who seemingly took us through today's proceedings. I would also like to thank the Executive Student Guild for the complete preparation of this program. We had just a matter of a few days' time. In such a short time, you have made the best arrangements for this program. Thank you wholeheartedly. I am also obligated to thank Ms. Maureen Webb, who brought greetings from the Office of the President of the University of Trinidad and Tobago. Your participation and suggestions always help us. Finally, I would like to say gratitude is a quality similar to electricity. It must be produced and discharged on good night.
Thank you, Ryan. So that brings us to the end of this afternoon's proceedings. I thank each and every one of you for attending, and I wish you all an enjoyable